I was trying to talk to the pastor, and the whole time Pablo is doing, ouch! And I feel so embarrassed. The pastor come to tell me what was going on. And they have a guest pastor who's, oh my gosh, Pablo. Okay, here, just take the shoe, take the Croc, Pablo. It's my old one anyway. You can just take it and do what you want to with it. There you go. This is a problem. That is a problem. Guys, it is, I know they have church on Wednesday nights. They also have church on Sunday nights. And they sometimes have a little youth group meeting on Saturday afternoons. But it's Monday. And I don't know if they're having some kind of maybe like a revival or some kind of something special, but there are kids at the church and they're out there playing soccer. Carl is all up in their business. And I'm lucky I came around the side of the house when I did and noticed this, so I can kind of keep an eye on things. I normally make sure to bring Carl up to the back or the side pasture when they're having church, because you know we've given the kids access to play soccer over there, but I don't want Carl up along that fence line in case a ball should fly over, or sometimes kids will try to walk to the fence line and get close, and Carl, you know, you don't need that kind of stuff. You don't need an accident like that waiting to happen. So normally the pastor will text me or call me if they're going to have something going on. So I know it's not just kids from across the street, 'cause I can see cars. I actually see a guy in a suit walking around at the church. So I know they're having some kind of an event. But I'm going to stand here and watch for a minute just to make sure Carl doesn't go down. I don't know how long they've been over there. I've been out behind the barn doing stuff with Tex, and I just happened to hear a kid laughing come around the side of the house, and sure enough, there's a couple of kids playing soccer right there, and Carl's right there watching them at the fence. But the thing is, I've often worried that that ball comes flying over, and those kids may look at Carl and he seems harmless enough. And Carl might be harmless. It depends on what kind of mood he's in. But if Carl is in defensive mode and that ball comes flying over and he thinks that those kids are climbing over to mess with one of these babies, then that could be bad. This over here might be bad for me. Pablo, what? I love you, Pablo. But boy, he can find himself into every video. He can. He can find himself into every video. There's my Carl. Let's go see what kind of mood he's in right now, because you really don't know. He showed me his happy hands. I call them happy hands. That's not a phrase that I created. And that's not the little cartoon that y'all are talking about either. That's a real expression for an ostrich when he's showing you his happy hands. So I don't think that he's upset about anything right now. But and lo and behold, if there's not the pastor walking out to the soccer field, there's the pastor. He's going to send those kids off that field because he didn't tell me ahead of time that they're going to be over there. That's exactly what's about to happen, unless he's walking over here to talk to me. And if that's the case, he's coming to apologize about the kids being over there. Now, I can't go anywhere right now because Pablo's keeping me hostage. And yes, the pastor is coming. So I'm going to probably have to leave what I'm doing now and go talk to him. Ouch, Pablo. Yep, he's going to want to talk to me, guys. So y'all give me a couple of seconds here. He's walking up to the fence over there. Let's go see what he wants. I was trying to talk to the pastor, and the whole time Pablo is doing, ouch! And I feel so embarrassed. The pastor come to tell me what was going on. And they have a guest pastor who's, oh my gosh, Pablo. Okay, here, just take the shoe, take the Croc, Pablo. It's my old one anyway. You can just take it and do what you want to with it. There you go. So yeah, he said they're going to be here this week. So I'm going to have to come out every afternoon and move Carl into the back. I'll just feed over here. What I'll do is he'll be fine throughout the day, but come 5 o'clock or so when I get off my bus, I'll just bring all of the littles over. Oh, boy. I'll just bring all the littles in here to eat their dinner so as not to have an issue with anything. You know what I'm going to tell y'all right now? This is something that I thought about. Oh man, how do I ever tell y'all this? After all of the heck that I had in trying to win over Carl's, the hearts and minds of many of you, do you want to know what I've actually considered doing? Boy, the future Longhorn Lesters. If I can find me a good pasture that I feel like is safe, with good fences, I've kind of considered the possibilities of taking Carl over there, along with a couple of these littles. I'm pausing here for a minute to let you think about what I'm saying. I have considered the possibility of moving Carl along with some littles, some goats, to Longhorn Lesters. Now, I don't have a Longhorn Lesters now. I've looked at a couple of places I was really serious about, but one of them was haunted. Seriously, one of them was haunted, and the other one had water well issues. And one of them was too far from home, and I had to have Jamie kind of grind that into my head before I was willing to accept it. But, you know, I'm still on the look, saving my money. So if that day ever happens and I do decide to move the Longhorns to their new Longhorn Ranch, where I would go every single day to check up on, feed up on, make videos about, I've thought about taking Carl and a couple of littles. So the reason for taking the couple of littles is because you would need to have something to help you maintain your pastures, guys. It's no secret how much work these littles put in to help maintain a pasture. And they eat things that cows won't eat. And so that would be really neat. You could never take a billy goat because Tex and the billy goat would fight. Like Ringo and Tex would never get along. But for the most part, the other bigs could care less. If you had goats, they could run with your cows if you had the right kind of fencing. And that wouldn't be a problem. But I thought about taking Carl also. So not so much for the protection of the littles, which he would do that. But because I don't know exactly how safe it is for nights like this when they're having church events. What if I wasn't home? What if I wasn't home? Let's just say, what if I wasn't home? Gracias. Oh, I'm videoing again. That guy's walking over here. What if I wasn't home and they were having that church event and I wasn't able to watch? And for some reason, the ball would have gone over the fence and I'm not here. Well, like I said, I can sit here and watch the pastures when I'm here and keep an eye on what's going on around me. But what if I wasn't here? I've already made it clear that if I ever find a place for Longhorn Lesters, it's going to be a secluded place if I can. I have so many questions, and it's just an idea. But that right there is not safe. And they're just playing soccer. And so I know what some of y'all are going to say. Lester, just fence off your pasture again. Don't let them have access to it. But then that would be, in a way, kind of cruel because they're a group of kids from church. They're here for the right reasons. And kids need a place to play, y'all. The church does not have anything else besides that small plot of land right there. And that gives them absolutely zero area for playground or anything else. So, you know what? Me and Jamie did something very kind. And we pastured off our fence to allow them a place to play soccer, to play their volleyball, to have their kickball games. and for the kids to walk around with their chips and their punch and their cookies. But now that we have Carl, I have to sometimes make sure that Carl can't go along that fence line. I'm just rambling to myself. I'm just talking to myself, guys. I'm just talking to myself, talking and thinking out loud. But I'll tell you what I like to do without getting mean and angry. Let me hear your ideas, because you have no idea how a good, open, adult type conversation, it makes me think. It helps me to see other perspectives and ideas. Now, what you can't do is sit there and say, see, Lester, I told you so. You know, that's not constructive. I told you so what? You haven't told me anything of so. Carl's not been bad at all. Carl's is an amazing protector. But I would be spending more time here than I would at Longhorn Lester's. So if I ever was to get any goats for those pastures, they would be the ones who would not have a full-time protector. Here we still have the other protectors. Hey, it's just an idea. I'm just thinking out loud, guys. I am thinking out loud as I'm watching the church kids play soccer and wondering how I'm going to do this every afternoon. Oh boy. All right, well, now I guess I'll go ahead and end this video, because there's not a whole lot more to say. It was a question that I had, but Longhorn Lester's is going to happen. If not this year, then next year. If not next year, then the next year. But I can't continue to leave Tex in that little small pasture, and so I'm gonna at some point invest in a place to be my little Longhorn ranch. I'm gonna call it a ranch. It may not be what you can see. It's not Yellowstone, y'all. If y'all watch Yellowstone, Longhorn Lester's will not be Yellowstone. I can promise you that. But it's gonna be a nice little pasture of land where my Longhorns can be free to be Longhorns and live together. And then I have also talked about the possibilities of running a few goats at Longhorn Lester's. That's maybe you shouldn't cross that bridge till you come to it. Is that what they say? Don't cross that bridge till you come to it? Is that the expression? Don't cross that bridge till you come to it. Well, yeah, I think it'd be easier to have some ideas, though. To at least have the ideas. So have an idea of what's going to happen when that time happens. Well, one thing is for sure. The pigs will never leave. The pigs will never leave. They are here forever. They need this pond. And there's not really, you know that, do you guys want to know something about pigs? You know that you can get an ag exemption for pretty much anything that has land value. Land value as far as bees, they help the environment. Cows, goats help the environment. Alpacas, if you have enough of them, you can get an ag exemption for that. A land exemption, y'all. You can save a lot on your taxes if you have those exemptions. If you have timber, you can have a timber exemption. But do you know that they will not give you an exemption for pigs? Because pigs do nothing to help our environment or our land or agriculture. They're pretty much, I guess, just a food source. And our pigs are just rescues. They're never going to be a food source to anybody. They're going to live and grow old and die right here at I'm a Survivor. All right, just one little tidbit I thought I'd throw in there. Carl, what are you thinking? He's like, Longhorn Lester's, I don't want to go. I like it here. I know you do. I would never, ever, ever do that if I didn't think it wouldn't be a good home for Carl. You know whose life would be a lot easier? Is poor Jake. Oh, Jake would have, I hate to say, I think Jake likes Carl, but Jake's life would be so much easier. The days that Jake is here, he has to really work around Carl. It's a lot of work working around Carl. Oh boy.